There's a big twist in the BBC Modi documentary controversy. In a fresh salvo, BJP has now alleged China's link to the documentary on the Prime Minister's role in the 2002 Gujarat riots. Claiming BBC is anti-India, BJP Rajya Sabha MP Mahesh Jethmalani said it's a cash for propaganda deal between BBC and China. In another attack, Jethmalani said BBC has a long history of spreading disinformation against India and that it best suits Congress's Jairam Ramesh's agenda. Also claiming that the documentary was being used to torpedo India's growth story. BJP's back-to-back attacks after the UK magazine, Spectator, claimed that BBC uses funds of Chinese company Huawei for their overseas propaganda operations.
A well-known fact that several Chinese companies sponsored by their government have been dealing with the BBC and have also bankrolled the BBC in the last couple of years. So it is quite likely that the Chinese establishment, along with the BBC, with our opposition in tow, is using this documentary to torpedo India's growth story. Let's not forget that Rahul Gandhi's close confidant Jairam Ramesh has been a brazen apologist of the Chinese firms here in India. He spoke several times out of turn when he was a minister in the UPA government, including backing Huawei, whose entry was questioned as a security threat to the country if they were to be part of the telecom sector.
I think if the member of parliament has got solid evidence, he should go before the appropriate oversight body in England and expose the BBC in Britain and expose the BBC. The BBC is publicly funded by the and it's got in Britain and it's got a separate oversight body. It's a very serious allegation he's making. If he's got proof about it, he must go before that oversight committee and expose the BBC. This is actually quite childish. I mean, there is a documentary out there. If the government believes that the documentary is factually incorrect, they must come up with a counter-narrative instead of banning it. And in this modern age, nothing can be banned technologically. You'll always find a workaround towards it, and people will watch it, and people are watching it. People will disseminate it, and people will distribute it. So banning is all a very crude method, and to rubbish the motives of the documentary without actually addressing the points raised in the documentary is also quite ridiculous. If they really want to talk about China, they should actually talk about the Chinese incursions into Indian territory and the infrastructure that are building into land which actually belongs to us.
So here's a tweet from Mr. Mahesh Jethmalani, Member of Parliament of the BJP from Rajya Sabha, who's essentially said that there is a China linked to all of this and that this is cash for propaganda. Essentially that BBC is taking money from China to put out propaganda of this nature, which is against India and against Prime Minister Narendra Modi is what is being said. Well, this controversy refuses to die down with the BJP going all out against the BBC after the documentary it put out on Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his alleged role in the 2002 riots case. The BJP says the matter has been settled by the apex court in India and that this is nothing but propaganda, an attempt to malign the image of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the BJP. BBC is up for sale is what Mahesh Jethmalani has said, linking it with Congress's Jairam Ramesh in his capacity as the minister who lobbied with China is what Mr. Jethmalani has said. The Congress and the other opposition, in fact, meanwhile continues to say that they're going to be raising this issue in Parliament and pressing for a discussion on it.